through mental struggle, as cliche as that sounds.
Yeah, no, that's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, and it's interesting. I did it probably not to that same degree. I definitely wouldn't be getting in a cage to tell you that much. But like I had basically done it for a little bit in uni. It's probably one of the best things in terms of fitness because I was never really that inspired by like doing like football or like badminton or something like that. I'd done it for a little bit in uni. And the jiu-jitsu side, doing like you mentioned 2.5 hours training, I did like 2 hour sessions as well. And it's like probably in terms of like strength, agility, conditioning, endurance, it like covers so much.
Oh yeah.
The cognitive side, the thinking quickly, etc. Like it's absolutely brilliant. So yeah, so it's excellent that you've gone into that and kind of used that. That kind of, you mentioned like a void to do it in something a bit different, but still in the line of fitness. And then in terms of that now, like the present day, because I know you do like these massive like Zoom boot camp sessions which look so cool. In terms of that, with everything going on at the moment, I know it had a massive, massive, massive effect on all industries, but especially the health and fitness industry. And especially as trainers, and I definitely relate to what you had mentioned about always working. Um, I used to be a PT on Gym4 myself before this kicked off, and just the constant working. I know you briefly told me as well you used to work like 15-hour, 16-hour days and stuff like this, and definitely relate to that. In terms of like the fitness industry at the moment, where do you think it's all going, and do you think it should be classed as an essential service?
Absolutely. I mean, it's it's robbery that it isn't. Like it's I just think it's robbing people of their mental health and their physical health. Like we was touching before we started recording. They're telling you, oh, it's okay, you can just train outside. Just as
Yeah,
easy as that. Just as easy as training outside in the pissing down rain. It's just as easy as that.
yeah,
Like that's just and like the one thing that really like sticks with me is there's a group of guys that come in the gym. There's I think it's a group of 5 or 6, and there's Will, Gary, Paul, and Mark. So Will's the youngest; he's about 33. Apologies if you're a bit younger, and all the rest are in the 50s and 60s. Now, Will's kind of like the leader of the pack, but you should see these guys when they're in the gym. We call them the morning crew. They just lit up. Do you know you've never seen so much enthusiasm, like whether it's talking about things or it's like their morning coffee going down to and just socializing. Now I really feel for them guys because they haven't got that. They can't physically exercise and they can't see the friends. That's a double whammy. But it's okay. They can go outside in the rain. You know,
yeah.
it's silly.
Yeah, absolutely, Marcus. Yeah, I definitely agree. Remember getting into massive discussions and debates on this on my Facebook. I almost call them like virus battles at the moment on social media. And the same response that was mentioned before, yeah, someone just said, well, just train outside. Bear in mind, this is like when this was happening, the peak of the winter resurgence. And it was, snowing, heavy duty rain, wind, and to ask someone who's possibly like extremely overweight or obese to go train outside is actually dangerous, and it's inconsiderate. And I don't think they want loads of people looking at them when they're training, So, but it's one of these things, isn't it? Even though the transmissions in the gyms are so low, and because of everything going on at the moment, even in a public health crisis, you would never think, they would just categorize that as being unessential, especially with like the reference with obesity and that being a core symptom of the virus. And in terms of that, in terms of like the boot camp and stuff, Marcus, has it really impacted like how you're working? Obviously, I imagine it must do, but has it been quite detrimental in some cases? Like for my gym, for example, it went into administration and it was just closed as a gym. So
I mean, I'm, I could sit and tell you, Josh, that like it's completely affecting my business, and for me to not do anything about that would be hypocritical, So I've had to adapt because it's fight or flight. So obviously it's took an effect, but I have adapted with it. So I am doing 4 boot camp classes on Zoom. So it's just everyone that was in the in person, and there's some that don't come, but like I completely understand why. Like I wouldn't feel comfortable doing like press ups and squats on a camera. Like that's me personally, but a lot of people love the accountability aspect. So after work, they know they're going to train, and I've recommended to a few of them, like dedicate a space in your house to train, because the house is it's a relaxing environment, and it's hard to get out of that. So whether or not you're transitioning, you're getting your clothes on, you're getting your gym clothes on and transitioning into the kitchen, it's go time.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's affected it. Sorry, I went on a bit of a tangent then.
No, no,
It's affected it, but you've got to make hay while the sun shines. But that's not the right analogy. But hey, you know what I mean.
for sure, for sure. But no, very true, Marcus. And like, I think it's excellent that trainers like yourself are doing stuff like that for people, especially at a time of public health crisis where we really need trainers, and they should be classed as essential. And the main thing for me was because it takes the burden off our NHS. If most of the patients are overweight, then obviously trainers are an absolute core essential at a time like this. In the pandemic. So it's excellent you can do that, especially to so many people. Like the Zoom meetings look insane. So how many people would you normally do in a Zoom meeting, Marcus, like on a normal boot camp?
So in person, before all this, it's like 28. And then on the Zooms, it's like 16. So it's good. I think the whole pandemic, obviously, you've got to respect people's opinions and all that, and I completely do. But I lost a lot of respect for it, and sorry if I offend anyone, but when you can open fast food, but you can't open somewhere to better your physical and mental health, but yeah, the fast food joints are open, and we're saying we're going through a big obesity crisis right now. I don't get it. I really don't.
Yeah, absolutely, Marcus. Yeah, absolutely. And people just see it as like this kind of one-dimensional thing. Like you can just train from home. It's fine. Like
it's just easy as that. It's almost like if your other half said, "I feel down today," well, just feel happy then. It's simple. Yeah. It's completely not, like you say, one-dimensional, and it's stupid to think it is.
Absolutely. And I found personally for myself, I mean, I've got back into it more recently, but I had a bit of a layoff period because personally for me, I mean, because I'm working from home at the moment, and people would say it's easier because you're working from home, but if I have to pay to go somewhere and my money's invested in going somewhere,
you're mentally, financially invested in that place, you're going. But like we were saying before, it's a transition. Home is a relaxing environment.
Yeah.
Like me personally, I don't really want to work out in my house.
Yeah.
I don't want to do that. It's where I come to relax. It's my zen place. And I don't want to see it as anything else but that. Do you know what I mean? So
yeah, absolutely. Yeah, so true. And it takes like just as much probably self-motivation training from home. And it's, unbelievably difficult. Like you said, like it is like an environment for relaxation and being calm. And then to turn it now into everything, like it's a gym and a this and that, it's a bit overwhelming and a bit off-putting. Like I found it so much easier when I have to pay to go somewhere and hold myself
accountability, isn't it? It's accountability.
Absolutely. I did actually want to touch on a little bit, just a bit on health and fitness before we finish. Is there any tips you would recommend for people, like maybe someone who isn't on the competitive bodybuilding, or maybe not on boot camp, but some people maybe just getting started, just some tangible things they could maybe do from home, you would recommend in terms of their health and their well-being?
I would find something that take just, even if it's an initial little spark, like it doesn't have to be doing like your couch to 5K. It doesn't have to be doing like whatever they're doing at the moment, the squat challenges or whatever. It doesn't have to be that. Find something that like just ignites a little bit of a spark in you and try and run with it. Like if you like going walking, there's so much to, especially from where we're from. There's so many good walking spots. I don't know if you can get arrested for that now, but so many good spots to walk, and that is so good for your mental health. Like, and if you wanted to do some workouts, hit me and Josh up. Like we're more than approachable. So.
Yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Yeah, I love that. Definitely like the green light exposure, being outside, like it's so refreshing. I mean, we'll probably get like a ban for saying that and like arrested tomorrow, but hopefully not. And also, I just wanted to kind of touch on as well, because you mentioned it at the start about this kind of work ethic as well, which I was quite when I saw you, because you were so young at the time when you competed, it's very drawn in by that. In terms of like a mental attitude and resilience, like you gain from like the gym, like a lot of people would think like just going to the gym is all about, you know, vanity. It's just about the way you look. You just, you know, just vain, air quote. But there's a lot that comes with it, and there's a lot of like fall in love with hard work. How would you describe that for yourself? Like, what did it do for you, like the gym and you know, working out and MMA, etc.?
Well, it kind of spiraled into, so you know, you said it at the time. I don't really like to keep my feet in the same place for too long, but I literally just, at the moment, my training, I find massive inspiration in things that I shouldn't be able to do. So
Awesome.
I'm signed up to a 60K marathon, ultra marathon. Yeah, so a trial marathon. Yeah, there we go. Along Snowdon, and at the moment I'm 18 and a half stone, and I just like people. The thought of people doubting me, that gives a massive spark. So I like with the 24-hour challenge. That shouldn't be something that someone my size or any size should do. But I find massive inspiration in struggle.
Yeah.
And like you say, you find out who you really are, and it's very humbling.
Yeah, love that, Marcus. Love that, man. Love that. And just to kind of wrap it up, Marcus, thank you so much for dedicating some time. I know we had some technical difficulties at the start. In terms of people to get a hold of you, what's the best way if someone was interested in the boot camp or just speaking to you one-on-one? What's the best way to get a hold of you?
I have a Facebook page. It's MH Training Systems, and we've got a community. It's very friendly people. Almost instantly welcomed anyone. I said almost like there would be any doubt. And on Instagram, my Instagram is at MH_training_systems.
Go on, nice one. All right then, bro. Well, thanks so much. Please hit Marcus up. He's got a lot of advice, a lot of good sound information. He's a great guy. I wanted to say as well, he's absolutely humongous in person. I remember the first time I actually met you, just like the sheer size. I feel like I could just like run into you and you would just stay completely still. But yeah, thanks so much for your time, Marcus. We'll wrap it up there, bro. And I hope you have a nice day. Okay.
Thank you very much, Josh. I'd love to speak to you, mate. Thank you.